honored, including by the Supreme Court, then the outcome will be righteous, regardless of what the outcome is. That's my perspective. I think the way this president has been treated by the media, by the Democrat Party, by academia, by Hollywood, not 1 minute of peace during his entire presidency has been disgusting and appalling. Disgusting and appalling. But that said, this is what matters. The Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, or we're going to lose our republic. We're going to lose our republic. We cannot have Democrats and their surrogates running around in different states and so forth and changing the voting rules. This needs to be resolved. This needs to be fixed once and for all going forward, or every future election is going to be a mess. So keep your beliefs in God, family, the Declaration, the Constitution, and the country. Fight on. Fight on. Be heard. Embrace your principles. But have faith that in the end the system will work. And if it's not working, it's up to you and me to make sure it works. Just remember also, the Declaration and the Constitution are not self-executing. It's up to us. We've had a lot of major battles in this country over the years, over the decades, over the centuries. This is one more of those battles. We'll get through it. We'll be stronger for it, as long as we hold the Declaration and the Constitution firmly. See you next time on Life, Liberty, and Levin.
Welcome to Waters World. I'm Jesse Waters. It doesn't add up. That's the subject of tonight's Waters Words. To quote Hillary Clinton, what happened? I'm supposed to believe Joe Biden is going to be president? President of the United States? Joe Biden? There's something that just doesn't feel right about this. You feel it too. Joe Biden didn't earn it. He didn't really even campaign. He thought he was going to lose. You could see it. He ran a losing campaign. So 10 days after the election, how's he ahead? Let's try to put this all together. Trump was cruising to re-election. He beat Mueller, he beat impeachment, he unleashed the hottest economy on the planet. His numbers were sky high until the China virus hit. We had to shut down the economy. Then the riots exploded. Biden slept through the whole summer. But the Democrats had a plan. Hide Biden, raise money, and scare Americans into voting by mail. In the fall, Trump got sick, recovered, then smoked Joe at the second debate. The Hunter scandal broke. It got censored, but Trump was on the march. The economy shot back up, and Biden was making a lot of mistakes. He was spewing gibberish to tiny little rallies. On election night, Trump trounced Joe in Florida and was ahead in nearly every battleground. Then the states stopped counting, and for the next 4 days, Trump lost his lead in slow motion. Boatloads of mail ballots pushed Biden ahead. Now, if you call the race on election night for Biden, I am fine with that. But 4 days later, his lead gets flipped in notoriously dirty Democrat precincts like Philly and Detroit. I'm sorry, but that's hard to swallow. Especially when Republican poll watchers are being denied meaningful access to count rooms. If everything is on the up and up, why can't we see it?
You need a machine gun.
Going to address all the fraud allegations in the next block, so be patient. I just have a gut feeling something went down. It's like a feeling a parent gets when something happens to their child when they aren't there. You just know it. 78-year-old Joe Biden, the guy with no base, no slogan, no crowds, no enthusiasm, no ground game, no charisma, no vision, no ideas, got more votes than Donald Trump. Not only that, he got more votes than Barack Obama and the first female nominee, Hillary Clinton. And Trump does 5 points better with blacks and 7 points better with Hispanics, and he still loses. But the rest of the Republican Party had a great night.
I'm keeping my light signs on.
Something isn't adding up here. Maybe Biden won on the airwaves. Maybe big tech and big media and his donors dragged Joe across the finish line. Maybe COVID and the economic shock rattled Americans to kick Trump out. Maybe people wanted a break from the Trump show. But my instincts tell me me something was fishy. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe I misjudged the mood of America. I'm not in the field anymore, so it's possible. But the sheer volume of mail ballots bothers me. It does. Scaring voters away from the polls to vote by mail, that's how it all started. Partisan government bureaucrats ordering ballots from printing companies based off dusty old voter rolls was a bad idea. Ballot harvesting, bad idea. Democrat judges changing rules, extending deadlines, and saying signatures don't have to match, ludicrous. And ballots coming in without postage is insane. There's just too much temptation to fool around with mail ballots in the first place. And then when you add tens of millions more ballots into that system, what do you expect? The massive volume of mail ballots is too big. There's too many hands on them besides the voter. Most of those hands are in big blue counties, too. They spied, they smeared, they sued, censored, and impeached them.
Yeah.
So what makes you think they wouldn't cheat them? The Secretary of State and Attorney General in Pennsylvania, for instance, in charge of executing elections, they're guests on Rachel Maddow's show and say Trump isn't a legitimate president. The Secretary of State in Arizona, in charge of elections, called Trump a Nazi.
Get him.
And we're supposed to feel comfortable with their vote counts? They think Trump's evil. And that means they'll take him out by any means necessary. Republicans need to get a handle on these mail ballots going forward. Democrats think they struck gold. They'll do mass mail election every time. Republicans don't trust this process. Democrat machines counting for days after election day with no transparency, no chain of custody? Absolutely not.
Okay.
We need to know who's president on election night. This can never happen again. All Americans need to have confidence in our elections.
Do we have hot
This is the
cocoa?
first time the country had a mass mail
No.
election, and it needs to be sorted out.
Nothing.
The Trump campaign has every right to investigate fraud,
Tommy Jesse,
irregularities,
sausage,
abnormalities,
Huh?
computer and machine glitches, the sworn
You don't have hot
affidavits,
cocoa
all of
mix?
it.
No.
We're big boys. We
I
can take a
can't
loss.
speak.
But we need to know if it was fair and square.
I'm getting shot
When it's
at.
over this winter, no matter what happens, I want a full audit of the election in all 50 states. Appoint a commission. Take a year, take two. Let the lawyers go wild. Democracy is too valuable to take the word of some creepy commissioner who got his job from a patronage mill in a Democrat-run city. A cigarette dangling from his mouth
Wow,
and a
man,
Biden
what's
Harris
this?
sticker on his flabby chest.
Okay.
Oh, don't come too close to the count room, he tells you. Stand back. Nothing to see here. I remember when Democrats cared about the integrity of elections.
This is about undermining the integrity of our elections.
This is a continuing threat to the integrity of our elections. The threat to our election integrity coming up goes on. It's a clear and present danger.
Leaders from both sides of the aisle should
I
be
need that
joining
cheese.
together
You wanna
now
pop it up?
to ensure the integrity of the election.
Miss Emily,
So
put the
Democrats,
thing down and
we're going to
the
hold you to your word. We're going to make sure the election had integrity. So sit back and be patient.
Emily.
If it's
Shut up.
There's nothing to worry about.
Emily.
I heard.
You said you wanted the country to heal and come together, and this will help do that. Democrats who didn't accept the last election don't get to lecture Republicans who don't accept this one. Democrats investigated collusion for 3 years, but can't give Donald Trump 3 weeks to investigate corruption? You think Hillary conceded? She launched a coup. They framed Trump for collusion and sprung a sting on his transition. Democrats said Trump wasn't even legitimately elected.
The implication is that Donald Trump is not a legitimate president of the United States.
Donald Trump is an illegitimate president.
I do think that he knows that he's an illegitimate president.
I think part of it is his own insecurity as an imposter. He's in that office way over his head.
Trump released thousands of emails and had his whole team testify under oath just to prove he was legitimately elected. And now Democrats have the nerve to say, no questions, let's wrap this up. We can't kick the tire a little? After what they put us through for 3 years? battle, I'm not going to lie. But it's a fight worth fighting.